Hey guys, good afternoon. Look at this, I'm on a bike. That's because it is absolutely gorgeous today. Friday the 30th, the last Friday of the year. Almost the last day of the year. It is 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 62 I think last I checked, a little colder in the shade. That's 16 Celsius, and we are on a bike, an electric bike, and we're gonna swing around downtown. Not much going on at the White House, so we'll probably go make our way up over to the Capitol, grab a sandwich or something for lunch today. We'll see. Let's just see what's going on in the big city. Look at all the tourists. I tell you, we have seen more tourists in the last week than we've seen in the last like 2 months. It's just because of the holiday, yeah? I'll cut up this way onto the sidewalk. Try not to kill anyone. Not always that easy, though.
He's tired of this.
A little bit wet. I don't know why. It didn't rain. Looks like they maybe washed it or something like that. Let's get out onto the avenue. Take a look at all our touristy friends. There we go. We got the Uyghurs out here today. Probably a bunch of the others. There's the White House. All the Christmas decorations have come down as far as I could tell. The big wreath that was out front and the Christmas ornaments that were floating in the pool, they're gone. Bunch of tourists out here today. Oh, looks like a tour group, not a protest. Pretty darn quiet. Oh, play some Spanish. There's the Uyghurs. There's the truth conductor. There's the anti-China Uyghur protest. There's a guy getting his picture taken next to a cop. But technically the cops don't pose, but they can't really stop you from standing next to you. A lot of you wanted to see more of the homeless camp that's propped up, sprouted up, I guess you could say, up around the corner. And that's about 2 blocks away, so we'll turn over here and make our way up. What is this? Madison Place, yeah. And then we'll go up, I think it's Vermont, and then we'll go to McPherson Square. We could do the ramp, or we could do the more exciting part, which is this. That was more fun. All right, so this is the Export-Import Bank of the United States. That's the Department of Veterans Affairs. And behind me is Dolly Madison's house and the Court of Appeals and a bunch of other courts. And straight ahead is McPherson Square. McPherson Square is it's technically a federal park. It's just a square block. It's home of the McPherson Square subway station, at least one of the entrances. And recently, as they've been closing homeless camps in other parts of the city in downtown, they've been pushing all the people into this camp. And last I checked, I counted about 60 tents. 60 different tents have been set up here in McPherson Square. The federal government has authority over the land, but the DC police and the park police are the ones who basically come up here and enforce different laws and whatnot. This will not last. The federal government is going to shut this down. I don't know when, but they'll come through and declare it unsafe. Oh boy, whew, a bunch of porta potties, you can imagine. They'll declare it unsafe, or they'll declare criminal activity going on, or something, some jurisdiction to have it shut down. They stopped moving people out of campgrounds during COVID. They didn't think it was right to force people to leave tent cities and whatnot during the COVID crisis. But that is coming to an end, and they've been slowly closing the other camps and pushing everyone down here. So, 2 blocks from the White House. As we leave McPherson Square right there and go down 1 block, we come to another entrance to the subway station, and come to a Five Guys, which I also like to go to. But then there is another park called Franklin Square, and the government just redeveloped Franklin Square And basically, you won't find any homeless in this camp. Yeah? This square, this park, there are no homeless. They all get shoved into the McPherson Square, sort of a way of collecting them all in one place before they eventually probably close that and let them scatter again. So this is Franklin Square. They put up like nice Christmas decorations. Do not climb the light installation. That should be self-evident. No tents here. A few people feeding the squirrels and pigeons. Well, let's go across the street. Oh, bird. So you see this big building right over here with the two twin towers, basically? That is the current headquarters of the Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos, the owner and founder of Amazon.com. He bought the Washington Post from the Graham family a few years back to help establish a presence in DC. Though the Post is under a lot of pressure financially right now. There's a lot of rumors of big cutbacks coming to the Washington Post as early as the first quarter of next year. But for right now, this is the Post headquarters. There you go. The Washington Post. Now, the Post used to be around the corner in the days of Woodward and Bernstein, and the days of the special counsel Kenneth Starr and Monica Lewinsky. In those days, the Washington Post was actually written and published just around the corner. Yeah, they had a big printing press just down here. Let me go show you the old building. So over here is, on my left, is a fire station, an old fire station. This is the headquarters of Tower 3 and Engine 16, the first new fire trucks for the White House. So this is one of the big fire stations downtown, and these are the trucks that are first responding to the White House whenever there's a fire call. Let's go over this way. So as we swing down this street, you come across this pub. It's called the Post Pub. Yeah, it's even done in the lettering of the Washington Post. It's not owned by the Washington Post, but I think many of their staff have had a beer there, or six, being that they are journalists. And right over here on the right, 1150 15th Street. You see this big monstrosity of a building? It's all like glass and whatnot. Well, the Washington Post used to be right here before the March of Progress renovated this building, and this building up here, this is 1152. Okay, so that was the Washington Post building, and then down that alley is where the trucks used to come out and bring out the fresh newspapers right off the press. You used to be able to come out here, it was at 10 o'clock at night, at 10 or 11 o'clock, and you could buy a first edition of tomorrow's Washington Post. They would like literally pull them right off the printing press and sell them right on the street. And boy, it was a who's who of Washington that was down here. The State Department was down here. All the major networks, NBC, CBS, CNN, etc. State Department, CIA, DOD, White House, they were all buying their papers at 10 o'clock or 11 at night. You would just pick them up right here. This guy would sell them to you. It was really kind of fun. I came down here the night of the Monica Lewinsky breakout of her story. And man, it was a zoo. There were like 40 or 50 people trying to buy papers, because that day, that was the day that had all the revelations, the first initial revelations of the Monica Lewinsky case. And we were gathered like a bunch of wolves up here at the Washington Post. And I remember to this day seeing a Washington Post reporter coming out of the office and seeing the absolute frenzy of people buying newspapers. And he had such a smile of satisfaction on his face. Never forget that. Never forget that. All right, let's go back down to the National Mall. Okay, ambulance going by. Quite a few tourists up at the Washington Monument today. Tourists kind of all over the place. You'd think it was summertime. I mean, it is 60 degrees, but the number of tourists are quite high. There's like a lot of built-up tourist demand, I guess. Over the last couple of years, people haven't come back to DC, seen relatives and all that. Oops. Yeah. Let's cut up. I guess you need a boombox for a scooter. Maybe you could just plug the boombox into the scooter. But, like, never run out of battery. Yeah. And here we go, up to the entrance stuff. Look at the crowds today. Guys, we haven't seen crowds like this in a long time.
Go get him, Michelle!
The crowds all the way down to the Lincoln down there. Tourists everywhere. Alright, we're going to run over one if we stick around here. We're going to have to bail out. Try not to get hurt. Okay, let's go check out the reflecting pool behind World War II Memorial. It is very warm. It's been above freezing the last 72 hours or so since I last walked out on the ice. But there's still ice out there. I don't think it's safe to walk on it, but it hasn't all melted just yet. Let's go take a look. Yeah, it's still kind of icy. Slushy. So it hasn't melted just yet. Though it looks like a few people have tried to go across and met their fate in the melted slush. And down here, yeah, it's all water. Remember the other day, this is where I started my walk across the bay. You can see that in my video, put it in the description or up in the top right corner. Let's go down here. Wow, there's way too many tourists today. Let's cut up this way. We can get away from all of them. Let's take a quick look around the Federal Reserve, because you guys always want to see what's going on there. Then we're going to go make our way up into downtown, into uptown DC. So over there, that is Federal Reserve headquarters, the building with the vents going into it right now. And across the street is the old Department of the Interior building, which was bought by the Federal Reserve and is being renovated as part of this massive renovation program. They're going to build 2 giant glass atriums on both sides of this building, and then I guess they're going to connect it somehow to the interior. That's the main building. The Fed has still got another building behind here that's operational, and then a couple buildings up on K Street that they rent. Though I talked to a Federal Reserve employee about a month ago, and he said most people are work from home anyway. He doesn't even know why they're renovating this building. They're supposed to work like, I don't know, 4 days a month from the office or 6 days a month from the office, and they're not even making that requirement. They just prefer to stay at home. Some of you guys don't like that I edit videos. Well, occasionally I have to edit. You see, I just had to stay there for like a minute while the light was changing, and it's boring. All right. So here is the fence outside, and up there's the Federal Reserve building. And it's this area back here that's going to be covered with glass. They're going to make a giant atrium of this open space and get a whole bunch more office space out of that operation. Now over there on the left is the State Department, and then over here on the right, this is the Federal Reserve. Well, one of their buildings. It's operational. Now back in the back is where the governors actually would arrive for meetings. CNBC used to do a stakeout, and they would film like Greenspan coming in, and they would try to assess interest rates changes based on how many documents he had in his hands and stuff like that. Bit mental. Let's cut up over here. Dang, that's one heck of a curb. Let's see a bigger curb. So I'm up on the U Street corridor just outside of DuPont Circle because my kid has now decided he's a Japanese ramen chef. And this is the Hana Market. This is the only Japanese grocery store in the city. It's really tiny, but I need to help them get some noodle supplies. Okay, I really wanted a hot dog, but you know what I really, really want is French fries. And I'm up in Adams Morgan, which is up in Northwest DC, to go to the Amsterdam falafel shop. Because they know French fries and they know falafels. Okay, happiness is a big cone of French fries. Get these napkins out of there. We're not going to use napkins. Ooh. Oh, yum. Yum, yum, yum. All right, guys. The day is complete. The video is complete. We have gotten our Okay, guys, that ends another day. I've just been grocery shopping. My little son wants to make some food for me, so gotta oblige him, not only with the Japanese stuff, but some American as well. Anyway, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. I'm not sure if we'll make a video, but we will try. Thanks a lot for watching tonight. See you soon.